Hello, welcome everyone to episode 5 of the Dribblers. We're joining you from Delhi, from New York, and from Sydney. You guys want to do a quick intro? How's it all going, Meshy? You go first, surely.
Yeah, all right, I'll go first. It's been what's this, day 6 for me. So kicked off the trip in Toronto. We went out the first night that we landed, so we're a bit jet lagged, me and my mate that we're out with. And then we went out here when we got to New York as well. So at the moment, our sleeping pattern is we probably sleep like 3, 4 hours a night, 3, 4 hours in the afternoon. You just keep kicking on. But it's awesome being at the home of all these US sports that been a big fan of. Got to go watch an NHL game in Toronto. That was awesome. Great atmosphere. Saw a hat trick. Saw extra time. Saw a penalty shootout all in the same game. So it's one tick mark off the bucket list. So it's going along excellent.
Sick. How's we've got Onks holding fort in Sydney. How's life in Sydney?
Meshy definitely looks like he hasn't slept for 3 days, but
It's rough. It's rough.
he's looking very, very rough. Sydney's the same old, definitely nothing exciting on my end. I reckon you probably have more exciting things going on in India, right?
Oh, my stomach is pretty excited right about now. I've been going absolutely nuts on the food here. It's so good. I'm here for like a couple of different cousins' weddings, and whatever
Yeah.
clothes fit me at that first wedding, they ain't fitting me by the time of the second.
Like
Unless I
that's
get
how
some
you get it
delivery.
altered and tailored.
Oh, because even with that, there's like a certain maximum. You can't like get it extended beyond a certain point. But yeah, we'll
Yeah.
see. I ain't playing park cricket anytime soon. I'll tell you that much. But everything here for us, I'm actually at a shared working space with our team, which is why I'm literally in the alleyway between the toilets because it's like the only place that you can't if I can hear people in the background talking and stuff. But yeah, it's all things cricket for us
Love
at
it.
the moment because we're prepping for the BBL and stuff. But how's everything in NBA land?
NBA land's been very interesting, very good. Obviously, I missed a few games being on the flight over, but I think one team that's really stood out for me recently has been the Pacers. They've been playing like an exciting brand of basketball that you really haven't seen before. You know, scoring heaps of points, having fun out on the court, and Halliburton, he's looked like a genuine superstar. Onks was just asking me before if he reckons if he's in the most improved conversation. I reckon he might even be closer to that MVP conversation,
We
depending on how the Pacers go and if they can manage to hold on to top four. I don't know if you've had a chance to watch any of their games, Onks.
Yeah, I've had a bit of a look in. You can't really stay away from Halliburton's score lines these days. Indiana are definitely not the most attractive team going around in the NBA in terms of market share, etc. But with the performances they're putting up, especially Halliburton, um, old Tyrese, and I was watching today's game actually, and it
Yeah,
actually felt like playoff atmosphere. So, whatever Adam Silver's done with this in-season tournament, um, hats off to him because this was a quarterfinal and they were playing the Celtics, who are what, number one in the East. Is that correct?
that's right. Yeah,
Num
that's right.
They played the number 1 team in the East, and they beat them, obviously on home court, and with people waving T-shirts and stuff around in the stands, it genuinely felt like a playoff game in what is it, early December. So,
Yeah,
when the in-season tournament's all said and done, it is gonna be a little bit sad to see it go because I definitely think that, it's been a big success, and now you have teams like Indy in the semi-finals. The other thing I wanted to shout out is, like, I think I read a stat today where it's like the indie bench, they're all making like a combined 3 million or something like that. So
yeah, yeah,
500k, if they win the tournament, everyone gets 500k, right?
yeah.
Every
Exactly. That's
squad.
right.
So while 500k isn't much to like KD, who's earning like 36 million a year,
Yeah,
500k means a lot to those guys.
sorry,
So
500K a player.
yeah,
yeah,
just
that's right.
winning the in-season tournament, yeah, 500k.
Jesus. In the BBL, I'm pretty sure it's like Davey Warner and stuff get paid like 100 grand and some KFC even if they play.
Yeah. I mean I mean, some of us would just do it for the KFC, am I right?
For the love of the game.
Yeah, for the love of
For the
the
love
game
of
of
the game.
KFC, to be honest.
Yeah, but I think I agree with all your points. Like the in-season tournament's been amazing. The atmosphere has been amazing at all of these games. And I know there was a bit of backlash around the color of the courts and all of that early on, but who cares? Like, I'm a fan. It's a bit of a party type atmosphere. Like you said, fans are going crazy, and I think again, it's probably something that's here to stay. Just like the play-in tournament that Adam Silver introduced. Man can do no wrong at the moment. Good spot, the NBA.
Yeah, he's definitely making seems to be all the right calls. Especially we touched on it in an earlier episode too with the new resting rules. So I
Yeah,
think Kawhi has played every game this season, bar one maybe, and that's got to be a record already. Like I'm pretty sure in the last 3 seasons he combined played 5 games, and he's already played what? How many games? You know, they're like
it
14,
was like
15,
20. Nah, I think it's more. I think it's been 20 now. We're nearly
20.
a quarter
Yeah.
way through the season. Yeah,
Yeah, and look at that.
flying
Kawhi's
by.
playing week in, week out. It's everything that they've done to change the league has been a tremendous success. And yeah, with the indie thing, it's like, look, not to be slack to indie, but are they gonna go deep in the playoffs? Maybe not. Are they gonna get an NBA
Probably not.
finals anytime soon? Probably not, right? So at
Yep.
least they can get that in-season tournament, semi-final, home court, at playoff atmosphere feel. So I see it only as a positive, I reckon.
Yeah, and they get that national exposure and stuff as well. And I think Halliburton's just been excellent for them. Like his leadership, his the way he's carried himself, he's putting that team on the map. So definitely exciting to see that. And I think a team that's also been put on the map recently is the Orlando Magic. They have started to win a few games. They definitely look solid. I was listening to a Pat Bev podcast either earlier this year or maybe once the season had begun, and they had Franz Wagner and Paolo as two top 50 players that the ESPN top 100 had rated. And Pat Bevs has said on this podcast, "Oh, it's about time they started winning games. Like, what are you doing? Shouldn't be tanking." And you know what? I think they might have taken that comment to heart because they're definitely starting to roll on. I think they're sitting second in the East, just behind Boston. So, and they're a young team either. They're not going to have stars resting. They all should be playing. So they stood. You know, they might be a smoky to finish in that fourth seed, probably around that the same mark as the Knicks.
I, look, I'm really happy for them, and they are young, so that means they all have bright futures and definitely fresher legs week in, week out, I guess. But is it too? Do you think it's too early in the season to start predicting playoff spots for Magic and Indy, like the Pacers? What do you think?
No,
Do you
it's
think
never
this
too
form is
early.
going to continue? Oh no.
I think it might continue, but like the top three teams are usually the same, right? Like you're gonna get Boston, you're gonna get Philly, and you're
Yeah.
gonna have who's the other one? The Bucks. Those
Yeah.
three always in there. Then you probably got that next tier down. And for me, a quarter of the season I think is enough to start making decent judgment calls.
Mm.
And Orlando have like not put a foot wrong. They're right up there playing defense. They got scorers all throughout. Ingles has looked like he's 24, not 34. And he's helping some of those young guys off the bench as well. So yeah, you know what? 4, 5, 6, they can definitely stay around that mark.
Wasn't Meshy making calls a week in?
Yeah,
Yeah, I
it's
think.
never too early. It's never too early.
Yeah, like if you go back to the first or second episode, he was already predicting some playoff berths, and
Yeah,
so I don't think there's anything such as too early in Meshi's book.
no way. Never go too early.
Well, just like the boys, Gorov and Parag and stuff with their multis, their soccer and ping pong multis. If you don't put 13-leg multis on, how are you ever going to win the big bucks?
Exactly right. The more the merrier.
That's the mentality we should start teaching in our public schools. That's what's wrong with the public school education in this country.
Anything more
Uh,
about the NBA, or should we get into some soccer chat?
I reckon let's go. Let's go soccer.
All right, yeah, let's get stuck in. I mean, what it's been a bit of time since we last spoke, and we definitely put the mockers on Spurs. What were they? They were they were the only undefeated team left in the league, and then since then they've lost 3 and drawn 1, so they've dropped 11 potential points. So
Yep.
since then they've fallen well behind the title race. But your boys, Arsenal, the Gunners,
Hey,
and Liverpool closing out the top 2 with really strong recent games. Arsenal's 4 or 5, and
yep.
that's wins. No draws in there. Then Liverpool's 3 out of the last 5 wins too. So, what do you reckon about the state of the league and the competition this year?
I know I just said it's never too early,
Here,
but
here we go.
Arsenal, I think I've gone early on them for the last 6 years, and they've done nothing but crush my hopes and dreams.
No,
But you know what? Hey, they're looking great. We're pretty healthy, and yes, I think we're one win clear at the top of the table. So happy days for now. But you know they're notorious for going missing during Christmas
yeah.
and notorious for just not finishing the season off well. And I know there's plenty of teams around them that are going to be hunting come the next few weeks.
Well, I guess they're your team, and I would hate for you to put a jinx on them, but that's exactly what happened last year, didn't it? They were winning
Yeah,
comfortably by Christmas, and the thing with the league in Christmas is it doesn't really shut down. They play over Boxing Day and then they play over New Year's too, right? So I think in the
yeah,
space of like 3 or 4 weeks, there's a bunch of games, and even this week there's a midweek game week. So it's whether or not the Arsenal squad, look, they definitely have quality and they're a young team, right? I think last year the biggest issue was the squad depth, because when you have these, and it's not just the Premier League, like you have the European competitions, like they're in the Champions League, so are City, and Liverpool's playing in the Europa League, but it's squad depth like that comes into play and how tired players get. So the key is to not drop points around Christmas. Look, hopefully they've learnt from last year where you guys are winning. What were you up like 6-7 points at Christmas, New Year's,
yeah.
and
I
then
think 7 points we were up by.
yeah, and then
I
again,
was already holding the trophy up in the air
yeah,
halfway through, but yeah, not to be.
yeah. I mean, if you're predicting a Indiana playoff berth in December, why wouldn't you be holding the Premier League up for Arsenal in December? Um, but it's look, from what I remember, this is like the most um, a hotly contested top 6 we've had in a while. I think the top 5 separated by 6 points. Villa's still there. City have drawn the last 3, so they've dropped points. But given how City's been these last 3 or 4 years, obviously they've won the league for 3 years in a row now. You can't really count them out,
Exactly.
can you? It's just like they're
Never.
always there. They're always within touching
Yep.
distance. It's
And
like it's very
sorry if there was background noise, by the way. I found an alleyway near the toilets and people are creeping out, even over here. Sorry to break up the analysis chat for 1 second. So with the EPL, by the way, while you guys were talking, I was looking at odds, and yeah, the only teams under $10, the only teams under $40 are Man City, Arsenal, Liverpool, which is basically saying
Yep.
like no other team's got a shot. Is that fair enough?
Definitely fair.
Well, I was just thinking. So the other
Oh,
teams are like Aston Villa, Newcastle, Tottenham, all 3 between 41 and 51, which I assume they're just Gonskis. So Arsenal at 360, Liverpool at 450. If you had to pick a bit of a roughie out of those 2, who would you go?
Well,
I
I'm biased, so I'd go Arsenal, but Ox would
as
probably give you a more reasonable answer.
as an unbiased supporter, given the fact that Arsenal's still young, but they're right there, but the fact that Liverpool's an experienced team and they've won the league with
So
this
Man
squad.
United at 81s then?
No, don't worry about United. We don't talk about United. We don't bring up losing teams on this podcast.
Fair enough, fair enough.
I would go with Liverpool, to be honest with you. Just because that squad has won the league. Like it when you win, you bring that mentality with you, and that's why City, even though they were like what 7-8 points off the
Yeah,
drift last year, they still came back and won. Like once you win the
all
league,
about experience.
it's all about experience, yeah. And you can have raw talent, but you need leaders and guys in your team that know how to win the tough games, like Boxing Day in the snow, 1-0 away to Chelsea or whatever, like that game, those 3 points are huge. Come May, come the
The
decisive.
Boxing Day story is always really good, isn't it?
Yeah, come the decisive points of the season.
Christopher Columbus.
That's a story that's gonna have to be told in
Uh,
person. That can't be put out onto the internet. My podcast career might be over very very shortly.
Hey, it might be over, or it might fast track your way to the blue tick.
Sure.
Uh,
That's awesome.
yeah, those are just the talking points around the EPL at the moment.
Well,
And
can
then
I get
obviously we
your?
had
Oh, sorry, I
yeah.
was just gonna say on. So that was for the soccer. Can I get your thoughts really quickly, guys, on the NBA championship? So I'm looking at this, and there's 4 teams under $10 odds: Boston, Denver, Milwaukee, and Phoenix. Any thoughts on their sorry in order wise? They're 450, 5, and 750. Any of those sort of stand out to you guys?
So were the top two? So was that in order? Boston,
Yeah. So
Milwaukee, Denver, Phoenix.
Boston, Denver, Milwaukee, and Phoenix.
What do you reckon, Ons?
Yeah, I think Boston, Denver definitely still both teams deserve to be favourites. Denver been playing well. Jamal Murray's been out. Gordon's been out. Yet they're still lurking in that. I think they're still top in the West. So with Jokic putting up ridiculous stats, you can never write them out, write them off. Boston, yet again, once they're healthy as well, they deservedly both teams should be favourites in each of their conferences and for the championships. The other 2 teams, I'm still not convinced on. Like Milwaukee's still trying to figure things out with the addition of Dame in there, and Phoenix have been a bit up and down, a bit injured. Bill has played 3 games. Maybe he's got the Kawhi curse on him, but
They
yeah, he
they
hasn't.
they still
He's
haven't
barely
played
played.
together. Beal, Booker, and KD still haven't played together. They
Yeah,
said they were
yeah.
going to reevaluate Beal this week, right? And then he might be back like in 3
That
weeks or something.
that's right. Yeah, but you got like I said, it's already 25% through the season. You need to find some continuity with the boys. Everyone needs to know their role. So I don't know. I'm not sold on them yet. I don't think they're a group of winners either. A lot of sooks in that team. Uh, just personal opinions, but yeah, I think the top 2 deserved favourites, and then you play around the rest of the teams.
Cool. Why I was asking that, so I made a look. It might have sounded like a joke, but I'm more than happy to put $10 on anything. So what I might do after we get off this call, I'll get I think it was Meshy on Arsenal and Onks on Liverpool. I'll get your NBA picks as well, and we'll put 2 multis together where we go like Meshy's multi and Onks's multi. I'll add in the cricket tips. So go NBA, EPL, BBL, chuck a multi in. It's gonna pay some like ridiculous amount. It would be like 500 to 1. But I'll put $10 on it. See how we go.
Yeah, end of
Sounds
season.
good.
End of season trip to Bali sorted. Then yeah,
That's it. There's
Travel
business expense,
responsibly.
right?
business expense. I would, if you ask me the same question with the NBA multi, I would say it's probably looking like a Boston, Denver finals
Yeah,
this year.
agreed.
Boston probably favourites to come out of the East with the addition of Drew and Tingus Pingus
Yep.
at the 5. They've looked really really solid, but again, just comes back to that point, doesn't it? It's like experience. Like no matter if you have raw talent, like Boston haven't won yet. With that
Yep.
team, Drew's the only. Correct me if I'm wrong. Drew's the only guy that has a ring in that team. Even
Yep.
if you look at Phoenix, Katie the Snake has a ring, but whether
Yep.
they're real rings or not, we don't know. Like Bradley Beal has no experience in the finals, and Book doesn't have a ring yet either. So once Murray's back, Denver and Jokic himself, like he's currently leading the NBA in points, assists, and rebounds. Like that's without
Yeah,
him
everything.
everything. Like he's doing
Yeah.
everything, and he looks
Yeah.
like he looks like he runs a kebab shop in Turkey or something like that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the man, he's insane. And once he gets his second best player back, they're gonna start winning games,
Being
and they're
better.
already championship DNA. Well, that's the term that it comes back to, right? Championship DNA. So I would put
That's it.
money on Denver to go back to back. I reckon this year.
Maybe just put Denver versus Boston as the finals matchup with Arsenal to win the league.
Yeah.
I'm just having a look at BBL odds, and they're all like between $5 to $10. So this multi is going to be quite juicy. But I'll put it out on the
Ooh.
Discord chat afterwards.
Are there any?
we,
Are there any clear favorites for the BBL? Or like, I know the Scorchers are dominating it for a while, but is it largely more balanced this year? Because I think the EPL and NBA might be the most balanced and competitive it's been in a while. Like, I genuinely feel
I
like that.
agree.
And it's really fun to keep up with both sports at the moment.
I haven't hit Miami yet, so I don't know what BBL is my favorite. But Nakul might be able to give me some cricket tips.
Well, in terms of the cricket with the BBL, we've been doing a ton of work on it, and it's pretty much the Scorchers. I think Onks nailed it. Like the Sixers are usually like the equal best team, but they've got like a bunch of issues with availability and stuff. So I might put one of them together with the Scorchers and like a bit of a roughie with one of the other teams. We'll see how we go.
I like it. I'm excited to see this graphic with the odds at 5,000 to 1.
There'll be like 10 points of gamble responsibly at the bottom.
I'm excited to cash out 500 million at the end of the season and then quit my job.
So where are you going to be next Monday, Meshy, when we look to record the next one?
Next Monday, I will be in Orlando. So much warmer. Here it's been like 5 degrees, 0 degrees, like freezing.
Holy shit.
But Orlando should be about mid-20s. Got a nice little resort booked. So hopefully maybe by the pool, having a cocktail. Happy days.
That sounds sick. You're in 0 degrees. I mean, I was in Mumbai's winter, which is about 33 degrees. And well, luckily I'm in Delhi now, and it literally looks like it's like foggy outside, like a Sydney morning, but it's just the Delhi pollution. I can't see outside. It's a fucking joke.
Can't see anything.
How far in front of your face can you see right now when you look outside?
I'm not actually next to the window, but
He's next to the toilet.
Yeah, so you can just see a bunch of dudes in the toilet right now, eh?
that would be ideal. But unfortunately, there's like people walking past.
Is it Indian style toilets or modern toilets? That's the question.
No.
Whatever that
Jesus.
smell is, I'm lucky you guys aren't here. I'm happy you guys aren't here. Anyways,
Jesus.
nah,
Hey,
sweet.
at least something's making you squat.
Hey, I bend low in the slips. Come on now. Nah, sweet. All right. Well, we'll get into all this. I think, Meshy, hopefully you got a slightly better time zone because what is it? 6 a.m.
Nah, it's the same. It'll be the same.
us?
Yeah,
Oh,
6 a.m.
East
Mate,
Coast.
this is the commitment. Yeah, East Coast. This is what I have to go through to get Onks' blue tick. Like, this is the effort.
You guys know the blue tick isn't just for me. Like, it's going to be for the podcast, right? It's not just going to be my blue tick.
Oh.
That's true, but I think it means a lot to you. Like, you're very emotionally attached to it.
Onks has already told a few people I think he's got the blue tick, so I think he's just like he needs to get it ASAP.
Yeah, like if we don't get it now, it's just embarrassing, and I'm going to have to cover my tracks. So let's just make it happen. Yeah.
He's got Microsoft Paint open with like a little blue tick symbol next to his name.
Mate,
Desperate times.
I'm 1 week away from just paying Instagram for that blue tick. All right?
Well, if we win this multi, if you want to wait another 4 months or 6 months, whatever it is. Nah, sick. All right. Well, look, we'll get this out there in the next couple of hours. And I'll put out a photo of that multi. I want to see what odds we get, and I'll actually put $5 on it for a bit of fun. But we'll
That's
throw it out,
cool.
see what everyone else thinks. Anyways, guys, yeah, if you're listening to this, Google Wiki Linktree, podcast will be there, all our socials are there, and you'll catch Meshy in Orlando next time around. And Onks, I guess, stuck in the 35 to 40 degree heat of Sydney. Is it actually that hot?
I love it.
Today was 37. I think Saturday we've got 40. Yeah, so yeah, it's supposed to be a hot summer. I don't have any travel plans, so haha, yay me.
That's sick.
You can travel to the eastern suburbs to the beach, mate.
Yeah, I might do that. Just go hang out at Bondi for a little bit.
That's
Love
sick.
it.
All right. Well, our journey towards the blue tick continues. All right, we'll catch you guys next week.
Thank you.
You-